Hi, everybody. We wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about our podcast. What's been going on with that is we just completed season 1 and we're getting ready for season 2. And we also just recorded our first Conversations with Life live, where we had a guest speaker come on while we were at Revival last weekend.
Conversations with Life has been a blast. It's been so much fun to record and have these conversations that we have with between us and with our lives, I guess you could say. Um, and it was really fun to have this conversation with Nathan. We're going to do these conversations with Life live in the future. And we want people who want to come on and not specifically anybody, but just somebody who has a question, has an issue, a problem, something they're delighting in, something that's they're finding in life that's really interesting or fascinating, and that sparks always an interesting conversation. So it's exciting to look forward to do those.
One of our premises for the podcast is that there's so much richness to be found in any question, and often the question itself and the conversation around a question is more valuable than the answer or any conclusion that you come to. So we would love to have more of you come on the podcast. We have 8 episodes recorded in season 1, and you can listen on Amazon, Spotify, Apple, and what we're getting ready to get that on YouTube as we start dropping episodes for season 2. One of the significant things about the season 2 launch is that the first episode will be an episode that we recorded on grief and death before our mothers passed. So at the time, Steve's mom was on hospice, but I had no idea that 9 days after Steve's mom passed, my mom would also die suddenly of a heart attack. And so I thought it would be interesting, as I don't think either of us has listened to the recording of that episode.
Mm.
What do you feel like has come alive for you, or maybe something about death or grief that has surprised you in the last month as we've been in this portal of grieving our mothers?
Well, for me, it's really been interesting. One of the beautiful things is how the surprising things is how beautiful it is, how lovely it is to revisit that relationship, and in letting go, certainly there's some sadness and difficulty, but also a lot of healing and a lot of understanding. So, I think there's no, like we say, I think in the episode, probably we talk about how, I don't remember now, remember, I don't remember now, but probably we talk about how this is the game. We lose everything. We lose ourselves. We lose everything we love. Uh, Life is a process of that going away eventually, and that sounds terrible, but there's a wonder to it and a blessing. I think I'm surprised by the blessing of it. How about yourself?
Definitely resonate with that, particularly the experience of being buoyed up by community that uh, was just there as soon as I told people
Mm,
this. Really, I want to say it's subtle, but it's powerful, it's strong. This field of support that I encountered that just kind of held me so that I could really be present with the process. You can only ever guess and imagine what your response is going to be when you lose a parent, and I really was able to be just present moment to moment, and it was different every moment, whether I felt like, crying or wailing or laughing, celebrating.
mm,
And a few of the kind of conversations I've had with myself and others that felt surprising, one being, I didn't realize how much my energy and my psyche was still referencing my mom and her
mm,
energy until she was gone.
mm,
And it became almost like a next level deconstruction for me, which is also always challenging as you let some of those structures and support pieces go, but it's also renewing, it's exciting. There's a freshness and a healing portion of that too.
Mm. I mean, a big part of the conversation with life is this conversation and this particular work we do with death, and it's just lovely. Um, feeling in as we were at this revival fest all weekend and doing classes and meeting people and in experiences that were just really deep, and one of the things that really gets me every time I'm in container or in class or in conversation, or in music with people, is is how much you can feel this conversation with life and death going through people, their losses and their gains, their realizations and the things they haven't realized yet, all there in people. It's really rich when you get a bunch of people in one place that are really in that vibe and doing this work and meeting themselves in this way, and it's just so beautiful. So so we hope the Conversations with Life podcast is this kind of mirror for you to to have an example, and hopefully it inspires and maybe informs with some of the things we share and the patterns and the ideas that we happen to, to talk about a lot, um, and hopefully those things will help your conversation with your own life and in your own circles, uh, be more rich, a reference, an inspiration maybe. They really are inspiring to me. I'm going back and listening to them. I actually have listened to them several times because I'm like, wow, it's good. That's good stuff. It really is. It feels a privilege to be a part of that, and to be so in such a rich conversation, with life, um, and with lovely people and beautiful partners and friends and all the things that I'm in and get to do. And anyway, so I hope it helps your conscious and meaning path, and makes that brighter and gives you some reference, I guess. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and the whole idea of the staying in the question, I think there's there's a bit of an exhale in that concept of allowing ourselves to, notice that we're seeking, notice that we're trying to find an answer, but backing up into, what's the process of getting there?
Mm,
What is life showing me? What am I learning about myself in that process? And I think that's another part that this podcast really gives people permission to just be in the question with. So
mm.
would love for you to join us, listen to season one. I'll put links in the comments for different ways you can listen. And of course, if you like, subscribe, and share, it makes it available to more people. So thank you.
We appreciate you and love you. Thank you so much for any support and all support. Mm.